Lazy, 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 lazy. Boo! And your game is trash.
Hello and welcome to the Random Pinoy Geek Podcast, the show where we geek out to 3 random topics until the timer runs out. I'm your random host, Selvin, and with me are...
Tom Vassell.
And JR.
We're friends and geeks who grew up all over the world, and each episode talk about things that are near and dear to all of our little geeky hearts. And we have Tom Vassell on the show.
Hello. Glad to be here. Flew 9,800 miles
Wow.
to get here.
At least you get a lot of miles.
That's true.
Yeah, maybe.
It depends on the airline, I think.
That's true. I flew United. I normally fly American Airlines, so it was a waste. Not a waste.
Not a sponsor, but sure.
Yeah, I need to do that.
Yeah.
If you are American Airlines and you're listening, I will take you as a sponsor.
Die sponsor. Dice Tower. Like, oh, wait, towers and airplanes.
by
not
American
Manila.
Airlines.
So we tried for real. We want to get sponsors that are not board games. It's hard to do. So we went to Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
Oh, that will be a good
But
sponsor. Yeah.
Well, no, Coca-Cola, they only sponsor you if you are outside sports or hiking. It has to be an activity. Because you know the people who drink Coke are doing sports.
Of course, you know.
But that's what they want people to think.
Yeah. Well, outdoors is still a thing, I guess.
Yeah, walk outside.
Well, yeah, exactly. Well, we normally have like a format where we just talk about 3 topics.
Ooh, what are
and
the topics?
Anything under the sun. We normally time it because
we should start that. What's your topic? And for the audience, if Pom suddenly gets yelled at and needs to go on stage, this episode will just
suddenly
end abruptly.
So like the first topic we want to talk about is actually podcasts, and so we're on a podcast right now.
We are
on a podcast, and like one of the big things that you've brought into this world is really the Dice Tower podcast. And so how did that start? Like we've heard all of the stories, but I'm just curious, like why did you think that you wanted to do a podcast at the time?
Yeah, 2002, I was writing reviews. So 2002, 2003.
like a blog type thing.
Yeah, I would write them, and I don't mind writing, but I like to talk more. If you've met me, you know I don't shut up. And so I was looking at Board Game Geek, and they had a podcast that they started there, and I was like, what is a podcast? Do you need to own an iPod? Because I don't own an iPod. But so I downloaded, and I was like, this is amazing. People are talking. So I did my best. I kept emailing them, and I said, I want to be a guest. So they let me be a guest, and I enjoyed it so much. And then another podcaster, Mark Johnson, who does a podcast called Board Games to Go, he said on the show, anybody can do this. And I thought, I'm anybody. And my church had microphones, and I said, let's just use the microphones. I'm sure they're good quality. They were not. And let's just make a podcast and talk about it. And it worked really well. It was pretty terrible. If you can go back and listen to them. But
At the time, it did what it needed to do.
well, there was so few, right?
Yeah.
We were, I think, the 3rd board game podcast.
Oh, wow.
And I said, well, what are we going to do? Let's talk about games. And then I said, you know what? Let's do a top 10, which then became the core of not just the podcast, but of the video show. So we started doing that, and we had a hard time coming up with the name. I think first was the Tom and Joe Show, which wasn't very good. Then we called it Panzers and Pieces, which was also not good. And then one day I thought Dice Tower is a good name because it's like a broadcasting tower, but it's also like an actual dice tower. So that was our name, and we stuck with it. So
I didn't make that connection.
Well, yeah,
The
the
broadcast tower.
old logo was a dice tower that had like the sounds coming from it. So when we started it, we got pretty good feedback because, again, there was no competition. But podcasting has really changed.
Yeah.
First of all, everyone is doing it. But most importantly, in the last 6 or 7 years, it's really changed. In 2020, because of COVID,
Everyone did it.
more people did podcasting, but fewer people listened to it because they traveled less. And then a couple of years later, all the celebrities started doing podcasting. It used to be just ordinary people. Now the biggest podcasts in the world are almost all celebrities.
Yeah.
So that's kind of horning in on people's time. I don't think people listen to podcasts as much these days.
It's also like, if you notice, like like Daredevil would have the official companion podcast with it and stuff like that. It's all Disney and Netflix shows have their
Yeah.
official. It's just
You can find a podcast about anything, which is great, but it kind of takes away from
Yeah.
the. Here's a guy who no one listened to, and he just does it. And there still is podcasts that were started by ordinary people that are doing great, but definitely the celebrities are horning in on the territory.
I think they do that anytime there's entertainment, because at the same time these are people that are paid millions of dollars to be because they're charming, because
Sure.
they sound really nice.
Yeah.
It's great when they're just talking about themselves, because I guess that's it's their favorite subject, but it kind of falls apart when it comes to certain hobbies. There are a few exceptions. Like I kind of remember there's a Star Wars RPG podcast that I used to listen to, and Sam Witwer is an actor who plays and he's so into the RPG that it doesn't matter that he's an actor. It's more important that he's a fan, and I think that will never go away. That really good podcasts of fandom, of interests, really have to be from people that enjoy it.
I agree. You can tell when somebody really loves what they do. You can know a lot about something, but that doesn't mean you like it.
Yeah.
But yeah, podcasting has changed. Definitely YouTube also took a bite out of podcasting because people like to watch YouTube, even if they're just listening to it. YouTube has changed the world dramatically. It changed us. The podcast used to be my number one thing. Now it's not even close. Our YouTube, so we have 350,000 subscribers on YouTube. My podcast, I have 2,000, 3,000, I don't know.
Was part of the allure of podcasts in the early days that you could podcast literally wearing anything? Like it could be.
I mean, you can still do that now, but
Well, you have a camera. No,
Okay,
I mean-
well, first of all, I don't get that. I always dress up, no matter where I am.
yeah.
Okay. And the hat's included. while you
Yeah,
record.
but
Oh
I
yeah,
think-
for people just listening to audio, Tom is sporting a very fancy barong from Kamuning.
I've wanted one of these my whole life. Well, not my whole life, but most of my life. When I was in Korea, the people would go to the Philippines and they come back, and I was like,
Oh, with
"Those are-
that?
those are such
Oh yeah,
great
yeah,
shirts."
Koreans like that. I remember.
And so I wanted one, and so I was here. I was like, I have to get one. So I got-
How does it actually
two.
feel finally getting it, and just
oh,
how
it's
does it feel? in
fantastic.
general?
It looks good, and it's very light.
Mobility is not as great, but
But you see, I wear a tie,
it's
so
the
what do
same
I
thing.
care?
Yeah.
The idea is it like feels that you're wearing a shirt. Like what
a
you
tight
feel
shirt.
is like what you feel is the undershirt, but then afterwards you're really because it breathes so much.
Yeah, it's really nice. I like it, and it also looks good. I can wear this to church.
How many
Like-
did you get?
Just two.
Just two.
I haven't.
Oh, but
worn
there are
one since my
four convention
wedding,
days.
so
You
it's
should have
like-
gotten one for
Well,
each
I brought my own outfits that I
Yeah.
wear, and also I bought a couple custom suits here too.
day. Oh, okay. Yeah.
So I've always wanted to buy a custom suit, so I thought that'd be a fun thing to do.
And it's cheap here.
Yeah, relatively cheap.
Relatively.
Yes.
So even while recording audio podcasts, you'd be dressed to the nines.
I usually dress. I don't know. I just do. I believe that dressing up makes you act a little bit more professional.
That is true.
People can argue that all day long, but when I get up in the morning, if I'm still in my pajamas and just kind of, you don't feel as alert. But once you dress, you're snappy, you're ready to go.
Do you also make your bed every day, like squared and everything?
Well, I'm married, so no.
But you used to.
I would, but my wife makes my bed. I'm sorry, dear. I should make it.
Well, it's. I agree. I think you want to be presentable when in general, and there is a certain power that you get when you're wearing a certain type of suit. Like
Yeah, and I want to be
suits,
careful.
right?
I'm not saying everyone should do it. I'm just saying for me,
Oh, yeah.
that's how it
You
works.
like it.
Yeah, and to be fair, you generally don't live in tropical countries.
I live in Florida.
Oh, Florida's
that's
true.
pretty-
That's
pretty
true.
hot.
Now, I will say it is slightly hotter here in the Philippines.
Oh, you
than
actually
Florida,
feel it's hotter.
but not much. The biggest difference I notice is because we're here in the city, so there's no wind.
Oh
Yeah.
Where I live in Florida, I live off the
Yeah.
coast, and so
Yeah.
the wind always comes. Now, that's not great in a
All the
hurricane
time.
time, and there's too much wind, but it's not so bad. And I love hot weather anyway.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Did you grow up around in hot weather?
No,
like
I grew up. It's not so much I love hot. I hate cold.
Yeah.
There you go.
I hate it. You know, as you're going to go outside, you're like, well, before we go outside, I got to put a coat on and gloves on and a scarf on. I need to go start my car up. Oh wait, there's ice all over it. So I turn the car on and it gets warm and I'm like, I'm not getting in it yet. I'll wait. And then you finally get in it and you drive to work and then you say, I'm not getting out of the car because it's too warm in here. And then when you go out, you're cold and you go inside and the heat hits you and you're still cold. You're still cold. See, for me, if I'm out here in Manila and it's really hot, as soon as I walk into AC, I feel great.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right away.
It's like instant comfort, but it's interesting when you talk about like these. We're going on a tangent, absolutely.
Yes,
But
we're
I
still
think
talking about
it's a whole-
podcasts.
I don't even remember
Exactly.
what
No,
the,
that-
I don't even remember what the topic was.
Podcasts.
Okay,
But the thing is,
podcasts, yeah.
podcasts kind of have that, and that's part of the fun of podcasts. At least for me, when I'm listening to podcasts, it's always enjoyable when you have, even you guys, when you were doing the top 10, and then suddenly there's like a tangent of something and anything. It feels very natural. And
Ish. I actually think there's a fine line to that. You should be able to go off on a tangent a little bit, but you have to rein it in. Because I know sometimes if I'm listening to a podcast, with all due respect to my fellow board game podcast, sometimes I listen to a board game podcast and after 30 minutes I go, is this a board game podcast? Because you haven't mentioned board games yet.
that's true.
And you got to be careful because you want to be a little bit focused. I don't write a script for anything. Well, sometimes very rarely. But I write an outline. So for our podcast, we always have an outline. This is what we'll talk about, but it's not 100% scripted because we can talk all. But I think you should stay in between.
Yeah. When you're completely off the rails, that does kind of impact your enjoyment.
It's really funny sometimes. Sometimes it's hilarious, but you can't do it all the time.
Yeah, so it loses its specialness when you keep
Right.
going. That becomes the main thing already. Just the side conversations. How has the change or the availability of like these types of high quality equipment been to like the podcast scene in your opinion?
Well, I mean, you don't need as high quality.
Absolutely, you don't. Yeah.
Really, you can buy a Yeti microphone or almost, I mean, you can use the microphone built into a new MacBook.
Or iPhone.
or iPhone. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're pretty good.
iPhones are great.
You can use the earbuds or whatever. And I mean, it's not going to be amazing, but it's pretty good. And I still stand by it matters if you're interesting.
Yeah.
And also, a good editor doesn't hurt to take out some of the spacing and pausing and stuff. but
Episodify.com.
Yeah, there's a
Sorry, that's our
yeah,
sponsor.
It's a sponsor.
they're not my sponsor, so.
I do remember like early episodes where there was kind of like this specific sound, and I guess that was just the sound of like the background noise.
It's
or the
also
quality.
like for 2005 and that era, people were more forgiving.
I think
Like
there's-
you listen to a podcast that has a lot of reverb and stuff, and you're okay. These days, people are more.
It
you know,
depends. The problem is our earphones are getting too quality.
Yeah,
So
you can hear everything.
hear all this stuff. But it doesn't matter that much. At the end
Yeah.
of the day, again, if you're interesting, I'll put up with a little bit of oddities.
That's
Yeah.
that's true. Although I didn't really get into podcasts until 2009. And the strange thing about that is, and I'm not sure if you've heard this type of thing mentioned by people that listen to podcasts before, was that the one main reason why I started listening to podcasts is because I missed my friends. So at the time, I traveled overseas. Like first time, not overseas, within the country, but like alone, living alone for a year. And I really missed like weekends hanging out with my friends, just talking about anything, usually board games, card games, RPGs. And that's when I started like listening to more and more podcasts. When you find a good podcast that aligns with like what you enjoy, it kind of feels like you're there sitting in a room with your friends and they're talking and you're just like enjoying, oh, that's a good point. Yeah.
And I think podcasts with multiple people is good because they talk back and forth
yeah.
and they have that interaction. But everyone's different, and that's the cool thing about podcasts is there's a lot out there. You can like them. If you don't like one, who cares? Find a different one.
Would you count the things that do you know Lore, like that podcast? It's more like an audio drama where the guy talks about like historical oddities. I can't remember the
I
name
haven't
of
heard
it.
that one, but again, there's so many.
So
If
many.
I ever say, I'm looking for a podcast, I'll get hundreds of different things. I actually don't listen to almost any board game podcasts anymore. I listen to them once in a while, but I listen to some RPG podcasts occasionally because I like to hear people play through that. I'll listen to historical podcasts, sometimes video game podcasts. But I don't know, I don't drive that far, so I'm not constantly listening. And I like music.
What's your current like podcast that you enjoy listening to right now?
I don't know that I have one right now, actually, because I kind of will binge one for a while. There's a podcast I really like called Business Wars, and they take two companies like Coke and Pepsi, and they'll give the history and which one won, or IBM and Mac, or they'll take two, Nintendo and Sega, and I find that to be really interesting.
These are just facts.
Yeah, but they dramatize it a little.
Yeah. Okay.
They give you a little bit of the story behind it. They do these little seasons of like 5 episodes. The first one was Netflix versus Blockbuster.
Oh. Wow.
And I thought that was really interesting. I don't think they're all interesting. Sometimes I'll go, I don't care. But
Yeah.
there's so many of them. I like that a lot.
So do you think a podcast that has more personality or podcast that has more narrative preparation is more appealing to you? Because you mentioned that this is a podcast that has a lot of research, because that's not easy to like get that get that research done, make sure it's correct, and then deliver it, because you're going to write a script for that, deliver it in a manner that is interesting for people to listen for, I guess, like 45 minutes to an hour long.
It's tricky how long a podcast should be. Everybody will give you different numbers.
Yeah.
I'm starting to think the sweet spot is 45 to an hour.
There you go. That's our number.
That's our number.
Because people say, I like a 4-hour podcast. Sure, but it's hard to find stuff in it. It's tricky. I have to
Anything
listen
that's
to it in
4 hours,
sections.
even Critical Role, right? Like, who has time to watch Critical Role anymore? Like,
Well, obviously, a lot of people. It's very, very
no,
popular.
their numbers now are super low. Like their YouTube numbers are like, I mean, compared to their
Comparatively.
millions. Yeah. But yeah.
But everything goes up and down. My podcast numbers have gone up. They've gone down. I don't worry about it too much. We just keep working and innovating and trying to be different.
And keep having fun.
Yeah, I think if you're not having fun, don't do a podcast.
Yeah, definitely.
So that's a very important thing. Do you have anything else that you want to cover at the topic?
Are we time?
Yeah, we're time already.
No, I think that's pretty much.
Okay. So if you want to continue the same topic or have your own topic that you want to talk about for 15
I got a
minutes?
topic to talk about. All
Sure.
right, let's talk about video games turning into board games.
Oh.
Is this a good idea? Does it work? Has it ever worked?
I feel like you have strong opinions about.
Well,
certain
no,
ones.
not necessarily strong. Well, I mean, I do, but I mean, as time goes by, I wonder. So 2 years ago, Slay the Spire,
Yes,
the board game
exactly.
came out, and it was very successful.
Very expensive too.
Well, yeah, it's very expensive. Well, that's a different topic about board games. Are they too expensive? And the answer is yes. But I just played Terraria, the board game.
Oh, you didn't even know
I-
that it had a board game.
I've recently watched your comments on that.
What is it? Okay, I'll let you do
Have
it.
you played Terraria, the video game?
Yeah, I bought it for $2
I've watched
Yeah.
because it
people
goes
play
on sale
Terraria.
really low. Yeah.
Well, Terraria, the board game, says it's 45 minutes per player, but that is a lie. My son and I played a 2-player game. It took 9 hours.
over the course of
Wow.
several nights, right?
Sure, we saved it because we don't have 9 hours to spend at one time. But it's interesting because they tried to copy the video game very strongly,
Yeah.
but I don't know that you need to because I can play the video game. Sometimes it works well. Sometimes they take the video game and they change the board game is based on the same theme, but it's different.
I didn't get any of that.
Yeah, that's like the worst announcement ever. I do apologize. I'm sure it's a nice guy, but I'm not getting any details.
Yeah, who cares? So there's a lot of video games that are very popular. Obviously, video games are 100 times more popular than board games. That's fine. There's a lot of them. But do I need, for example, Super Mario to be a board game? I don't think so. Or a good example would be a game everyone always tries to make, Super Mario Kart, the board
Okay.
game. People are always like, oh, this game I made, it's just like Super Mario Kart, the board game. And it comes close, but it's not the same thing. Because when I play Super Mario Kart, when we do a race, let's say there's 4 people in the room, we're doing a race, and we're done with that race in 5-10 minutes. It's not very long. Yeah. It's exciting. Everyone had a good time. We're laughing. You play the board game, it takes, at minimum, an hour. You have to look up rules. It's not quite so fast. I don't think the translation works most of the time. Sometimes, I think Slay the Spire is an exception. But if you tell me you're making a board game based on a video game, I will probably not be as interested in it.
Did you play the Civilization board game?
Well, which one? There's like 10.
I actually don't know which one.
I'm going to guess it's the new one from Fantasy. I say new. It's like almost 10 years old. Yeah. Fantasy Flight has made 2 board games based on Civilization. Eagle Gryphon made one. Civilization is based on a board game. But the fact of the matter is, when I play Sid Meier's Civilization, it's one of my favorite games in the world.
Oh.
In fact, when I fly back to America, I'll be on that flight for 14 hours. I might play Civilization.
For a couple of hours.
Because, no, for the whole trip.
For the whole trip, wow.
But here's the thing. When you play Civilization, you say, I'm going to research this technology, I'm going to build this, and the computer handles all that stuff. And also, it's just me doing it. But if you're doing that on your turn, and then we have to look up a rule and do this, it just doesn't work as well. The Sid Meier's game was not bad, it was fine, but it's also not as good, I think, as it could have been.
We did like the whatever version that was. I think it's a Fantasy Flight.
I think we enjoyed the tech tree because it was a tech. We
enjoyed that it made Civilization a faster game because it was more of the.
Do you remember were there cards at the bottom of the board and you just?
I think where you turn something, right?
There was like a thing where just like a tech pyramid that you built.
But it played more like what's the fast Civ game?
Civ Rev.
Yeah.
Okay, then I know which one. So that's the first of their 2 games. They made another one that was even more streamlined. I don't like Sid Meier's Revolution anyway. I think it's the worst one. But yes, the Fantasy Flight one wasn't that bad. People tell me the expansion makes it better. I don't know. But
it does. Because we played it without first, and then, at least we think it does. We played it without, and it was kind of meh. And then.
But I still wonder if that might be more of an exception.
Yeah.
Because so many video games are about speed. If I want to play a sports video game, I can't turn that to a board game. It's just not going to be as fast and quick pace.
Yeah. Would you think that Tecmo Bowl would count as like a board game with that little vibrating thing, like the little players?
Sort of. That's more of a dexterity activity. Also, there's no strategy in that whatsoever.
That's true.
But it's hilarious. They brought it back 6 years ago, but it died out almost instantly.
Do you think that like Tecmo, those types of games would still be okay as an adaptation for sports games?
It's possible, but I think your best bet is to not try to make the video game, but to make something that's kind of based on the video game.
That is more. Those are the ones that really succeed. Like there's a Bloodborne one that came that people enjoyed.
They really?
Yeah, it's more of.
Well, it wasn't terrible.
Yeah,
but as a good example, the Steamforged tried to make Dark Ages the board game, and they made Elden Ring the board game, and they made Oblivion the board game, and they're all terrible. And they try to do this video game aspect, and I'm like, but I don't need. Why do I need this?
Yeah.
I think a game set in the world works better.
I agree.
Than the actual like mechanics, but when you sort of copy a genre of video game, it actually works better. Do you remember an old game called Masters of Orion 2?
Yes.
Right? And I found that it's very... there's a game called Eclipse that reminds me a lot of Masters of Orion.
It's a little like it, a little less fighty, but yes.
Yeah, exactly. But the fact that the tableau is so... it is finicky, but when everything starts going, it's such...
the finesse.
the elegance of like, I remove this. What I see is what I get. I think I really like that as far as like... But that's more of like getting the theme or getting the idea of the video game rather than the video game itself. Right? And that's the same thing with the Twilight Imperium did the same thing. And Dune, which is an RTS. There was an old StarCraft board game that
Well, there's StarCraft, they made Warcraft, World of Warcraft, and all those games, the StarCraft game is nothing like StarCraft, which actually made it work better.
Exactly.
Warcraft tried to copy Warcraft, didn't do as well. World of Warcraft, I don't even know what was going on in that game. But
you play it for 8 hours and then realize that you didn't need to play it with anyone.
Although the card game worked better, like the World of Warcraft
No, it's
card
super
game.
different. Because the
It is
board game
different.
is like you grind to level up your
Yeah,
party and then you just
and then
have
you're in
one
the
battle.
little
yeah,
area.
there's one combat, and I'm like, oh, you're going to do combat? I'm going to go get lunch and come back, and maybe you'll be done.
I enjoy that for the minis though. You paint the miniatures. Because
There's a secret. You can just buy miniatures.
it's cheaper to buy that thing.
It's like a toy. How about what's your stance on like card games? Because I
like what TCGs?
card games
card-
as a board
yeah.
game, board game, card games.
I like card games.
deck builders.
Oh, I love deck builders.
So like, would that be a better way of adapting? Because I think Slay the Spire worked well because it's essentially a card game, and then you
It's a
moved
deck builder.
Exactly, a deck builder on the game.
To
then
be
deck
fair,
builder.
Slay the Spire was a deck builder on the video
On the
game.
video
Exactly.
game, yeah, that's why.
So I don't know that one's even a fair comparison.
That's true.
Because
That's
it was
why.
already built that way. You need to take like a very popular video game and say, can that be turned into something? Can we take, I don't know, there's so many popular video games out there, but Elden Ring, for an example, very popular game. Did it do a good job of turning into a board game? And the answer is not really.
Not really.
I think it's because people want to extend their enjoyment of the video game to something that they feel is tangible, like something they can hold, they can carry, that can sit on a shelf. That's not.
No,
like,
I agree. It's the same reason people buy amiibos and
Yeah.
weird little things. They like the idea of having that extra stuff. I don't know. It's just an interesting topic. I think it doesn't need to be done.
Oh, definitely.
People are
yeah.
still going to do it because money.
That's true. That's true.
I recently got Dead by Daylight, the board game, to play with my nephews and nieces, and it's like, just play the game.
How
it's
do they
a,
do it?
It's a yeah. One is the what do you call that?
Because I watch Death by Daylight games, and it's just
Dead by Daylight.
running.
Yeah, you do the generators, and it plays like the game, which again is not necessarily a good thing.
Okay, yeah, I get.
Then just play the game.
But that's the thing. Like, if you really like the game, maybe you have a greater threshold for enjoying it.
Or, right, but it's also more dangerous because you might also be too annoyed at it.
No, that's
Yeah.
true. Yeah, you hold it up to a higher standard than
Yeah.
Possibly.
other games. But have you ever thought of a specific game that, besides Slay the Spire recently, that you think, oh, okay, well, this actually got it done correctly?
Probably. I don't know off the top of my head, though. But yeah, probably. There's some. And I think I'm going to do a list on this at some point. All the
Yeah.
video games that have turned into good board games and all the ones that were trash.
0 to
There's
negative
only
5.
two that made it well. And
I
the
don't
rest
think
are
it's that bad. I really don't.
Yeah, it's not but it's not definitely not an even split.
And you kind of feel for the people that, well, besides the fact that when they do it for money, that's kind of like not the best.
Well, I got to be careful because we all do games. Anyone who publishes board games does it for money.
But yeah.
Yeah.
They
that's
can
true.
say, I do it for love. Cool. But also probably for money is helpful. You want the game to sell well. I don't go to work for love, except I love my family and I want to provide for them. But I feel like that's something people like, this game is a labor of love. I'm like, oh, I don't care. Is it fun? Like, I worked on this game for 10 years. I don't care. Is it fun?
Besides video games, have you thought of other media turning into games? I think that's more successful.
Sure, movies, TV shows. I mean, we're looking right here at Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Unmatched,
Yeah.
very good. King of Tokyo, Godzilla, very good. Nowadays, it used to be that if it was based on a movie or TV show, it was automatically bad. But nowadays, there's so many good ones. So many good Marvel games, DC games, so many good games based on movies. Game of Thrones. There's all kinds of stuff. It's really, really good.
And not just that, they're a good game that takes the IP and just, okay, it's a good game. So regardless of what IP you put in there, but games that actually embody that IP or
Oh,
the
I mean,
thing.
some of them are great games. Game of Thrones does a really good job at embodying the IP.
The thing I was thinking of really is something that we enjoy before we actually watched the show, which was Babylon 5.
Battlestar Galactica.
Sorry, sorry, Babylon 5.
I was going to be like, no, the Babylon 5
No,
game
no.
is not
Yes.
great. Babylon,
Battlestar.
you're right. Did I play Battlestar Galactica first? No, I watched the show first. But yes, that game, and that game is so good as Battlestar Galactica that when they remade it as Unfathomable, they made it. It wasn't as good because it was so strong as that theme.
The IP. Yeah.
And that's all we have to say about that.
Yeah. Do you have anything else that
Nope.
you have to say about?
We moved to a different topic anyway. We started talking about movies and TV shows.
Yeah. So let's talk about your content though. Like, are there specific videos that you really like doing or hated doing, or not hated? Maybe hated is a strong word.
My
Or
favorite
regret
by
doing?
far is a top 10. I can
top
do a
10.
top 10 every day. Give me a topic. I'll tell you my 10 favorite things, my 10 worst things, and I'll argue about it all day long. I love top 10s. My second favorite is I like anything where we argue, whether it's a hot takes or Q&As or things that we go back and forth on. My least favorite thing is probably the overviews I do for videos, because you have to set up the whole game and explain how the game works.
But you have to do it.
You don't have to, but it helps
helps.
show the game off.
And people do look forward to it, I guess. Yeah. So.
Yeah, so that's probably the thing I like the least. But if I really don't like doing a video, I just don't do it.
Are the top 10s also the ones that do the best?
Yes, by far.
Because it's also like
People like the back and forth. Also, people like top 10s. When I
Yeah.
started the Dice Tower podcast, I did it, what was that, 2005 or something like that. I don't remember. And people said, you're going to run out of top 10 lists. Well, I have not. But we also, sometimes we repeat them because the games have changed. 20 years, games are going to change. Sometimes they sound mundane. Like next week, I'm doing my top 10 games that start with the letter Q, so we're going through the alphabet. People are like, it's so boring. But it's not boring because I'm going to talk about games you haven't heard before. And you're like, can you even do 10 games that start with Q? Yes, I can. Not only could I do 10, I could do 23, but I narrowed it down to 10.
How do you where do you find all these games anyway? That's like do you just go online and look
Like I
for-
think nowadays people just give it to you, but in the past did you have
Oh,
to
you mean
do
how
a
to
lot
play
of-
games?
or just people just getting you?
Well, I
getting
mean,
it under
I started by just, when I first started reviewing, I just reviewed games I had in my collection. I reviewed everything. And then one day a guy emailed me and said, hey, would you review my game if I sent it to you? I was like, sure. And then it was terrible, but I reviewed it. And then other people started sending me a few games, and then I started asking for them. Nowadays, almost all the companies send us board games to review, but I still buy games occasionally. I'm going to buy some games here. I back games on Kickstarter that show up, and we review them. But at any given point, there are so many games now we can't even. It's unbelievable. How many games do you think that I have at the Dice Tower Studios right
was
now
gonna ask that,
we
actually.
haven't reviewed?
Oh.
So give me a number here, and I'll tell you. I'm going to pull up my document.
Do you
'Cause I
include
keep
like
track-
micro games and stuff?
Sure, everything that comes in.
I'm guessing around 300.
I was actually going higher because micro games. I'm thinking like 800.
Wait a minute.
That's too much.
Okay, I'm not arguing with you that micro games will add. Why do you think I have 500 micro games?
No, because everybody.
I'll make it easy for you. What do you mean by a micro game? Are you talking about like a little pocket game? I have like 10.
Oh, really?
Well, there's not that many. Are you talking about the wallet games?
No, because like you're Tom
Yeah,
Vassell.
there's
so
there's
somebody-
actually like really 10 of them, right? Like the micro. Or are you talking about
I'm
anything
talking
that's in a
about
small
anything-
box?
No, anything that's a short, like a one person game design. Like, hey, Tom Vassell, Mr. Tom Vassell, I
Oh,
made
like
this
an
game.
indie, like
Oh,
a guy.
you mean an
Super
indie
guy.
game?
Yeah.
Oh, micro game means small.
Yeah. I mean micro games, but also indie games. I guess. is
What are
I
the
meant.
micro games called? The mini, tiny, epic. Yeah, those ones.
Oh,
Yeah,
those
anyway.
are. Yeah.
Well, anyway.
Anyway, sorry, I apologize. I meant like also like indies, people that have like a one-page game. Hey, this is like a game that I made.
Oh, one-page
using
RPGs. There's like a million.
I actually tell a lot of those people no. But
said
anyway,
it
you were
anyway.
still over. The answer is 520.
Oh, that's close.
No, you weren't close. You were 300 off.
I know he was close.
It's
He was 200 off.
Literally 200 off.
No, but that by
No points
prices-
awarded.
Wait,
Prices Right
so how many
rules.
games do you actually have? Period.
Well, let's not count those 500
Okay.
because as soon as we review a game, it either gets added to the Dice Tower library
Mm-hmm.
or I get rid of it. Those are the only options.
Or personal collection.
My personal collection,
Yeah.
I have 13 games.
Oh.
I own the Dice Tower library,
Yeah.
so I can go to that anytime I want and get games. The Dice Tower library has around 2,300 games, but I keep that very strict. If I add a game comes out.
Oh.
I was curious. How do you organize that by
Alphabetical,
by name?
I'm guessing.
No, alphabetical is the worst way to organize a library.
Oh, because of the size.
The sizes are messed up, but also it's not helpful to you. Let's say you come to my library and you're like, I would like to play Agricola.
Oh.
So you go to Agricola A, and there's no Agricola there. So you go, you know what? I'll play Antilles instead. What? They're not even the same. So
by
I put this-
genre.
if you go to where Agricola is, it's not there. You'd be like, oh, but Caverna's there, or La Hava's there.
Okay.
So I put the same kind of games together. I have all my Star Wars games together, all my Lord of the Rings games together. Sometimes it's by boxes, but all the cooperative games, deck building games, social deduction games. I think that's a much better way to do it.
That makes sense.
I think it makes a lot of sense, especially since you I guess you said that you share it with other people, so people might have taken out or borrowed a game, and you want to play a game there, it's not there right now because somebody borrowed it before you. Having similar games nearby really helps
Yeah.
people like, oh, I want to.
It also makes it look amazing. You see all these games so beautifully lined up.
aesthetically pleasing.
But how about the personal collection though? So what are those? Like just your best of the best games?
Like
or-
at my house?
Yeah.
No, they're mostly kids games. Like
Okay, so you play
Uno
with your
and
family.
stuff like my family likes.
Okay.
Again, if I really want a game, I could just grab it and take it home.
yeah.
So it's not a big deal. We buy small games occasionally that kids play without me, or maybe some party games. But I just don't see the reason to own things twice.
yeah.
I don't really know where the library is located, but do you make sure that it is protected during the things that happen in Florida from time to time?
Well, I mean,
floods and
We have it in where I work in the studio there, but it's air conditioned, so it's not going to be a problem. But if it's going to flood, which hasn't happened yet, and we are right next to a river, but we've already talked about this. If I thought it was going to flood, I would move all the games off the bottom shelves. I would wrap the rest of them, and I have insurance.
Well, that's the real answer.
But if a hurricane, again, if something huge was coming, at that point,
That's
I don't
really
really
low.
have time to care.
yeah. You care
But-
about the other
But it's not.
family. and
It's not going to just like. I don't know. It could happen. I'm not saying it can't happen, but I'm just not that worried about it.
stuff. Yeah.
Otherwise, no one would have any businesses there at all.
That's true.
it's just that it's the Dice Tower library, and so like people would think that there's like some more some advanced way of protecting it, but no, just put it off the ground.
But I mean, I take care of it very strongly. We have all the boxes. I buy box bands that hold them in place. All the pieces are bagged and labeled. We work really hard to keep the library in shape. The miniatures are often painted for the games. We work hard to make it look really good.
Is
It's the best library in the world.
Wow,
I'm sure.
I will take it up against anyone else's library.
a gaming library, or just library in general.
It's better than book libraries. Don't get mad at me, book people. I'm not.
It's better than the Library of Alexandria.
Library of Congress, garbage.
Has a game ever been inducted in the library, like for cultural?
Who knows?
Library of Congress is weird though. Like they're just like
Yeah, 'cause
there are
they put
podcasts
movies
that
and
are there
stuff.
for
Really?
I-
Podcast? Oh.
I went to the Library of Congress when I was in D.C. I said, I'm going to go check out a book. And then I realized how you have to have like special library card.
Yeah,
And I was
it's
like,
weird,
oh,
it's
what a
weird.
pain.
Yeah, podcasts. They're like the war medicine podcast I edit. It's they put it there for documentation. I don't know. So it's weird. It's not just like the best of the best. Anyway, so games. Are there games that you actually still play multiple times? Like a go-to
Like a
game
day-to-day
aside
basis.
from family games.
Oh, but I mean, I play games whenever I want. I mean,
But, like, is
don't
there,
get me
like-
wrong. I'm always
Yeah.
playing new games. It's the number one thing I play is new games. But
Games that you go back to.
so let's say we have a game night and the guys come in and we play a bunch of games and they're all terrible. That happens. I'll be like, well, we're going to play one good game for sure.
Mhm.
And I'll go pull it out of the library and we'll play it.
And what would that game normally be?
It depends how many players I have, what I'm in the mood to play, how much time we have left. There's a lot of great games.
So in short, there's no go-to game.
No, not really. It's all what I'm in the mood to play. Sometimes I'm in the mood to play a game and I'll just keep playing it like 30 times whenever I'm like, this is the game I'm bringing out. Like Hot Streak came out last year and I must have played that. Anytime anyone said, what should we do? I'm like, Hot Streak.
It's a racing game, right?
Yeah.
Is it better than Heat?
Yes. But it's also very different.
Yeah.
It's a silly game. Heat is not silly.
Yeah, Heat is a serious racing game.
Have you seen the latest Dropout has this game, home version of Game Changer?
Game Changer. Yeah, I think it's trash.
Oh wow.
Now let me be careful. I think Dropout does a good job. And Game Changer, the show,
it's great.
It's really well done. But I think the game that they're putting out looks like trash. Yes, it's making $8 million, whatever. I don't care. Because all it is it's a party game where you do stupid stuff.
Yeah.
That is every party game that's ever made. It's not anything special. Dropout is funny because they have comedians on it.
Exactly.
This box does not open up and comedians come piling out of it. And that's why I'm not impressed by it. I mean, I haven't played it. I even backed it because I will play it to say if it's good or not. And then once I review it, they'll never invite me on the show. But
well, I think you hit the nail on the head when the problem with that game is the fact that every time I've seen it played, it's played by people who are really, really funny, which means that they could have played any other board game.
They also clipped that play. They didn't show you a full play of it.
Oh, yeah,
they
of course.
clipped out the funny parts.
Yeah.
That's true.
But like, for example, in the advertisement, the guy's like, give me a clue, but have your tongue outside your mouth. I'm like, there's at least 4 or 5 games that already have done that. That's not special.
Not novel mechanics.
Just because Sam Reich hasn't played enough board games in his life isn't my problem. But whatever, it'll make more people play another dumb party game. Because I think party games are funny when they just become funny. But a party game that tells you to be funny is not nearly as funny. I'm like, hey, why don't you give me a clue, but you have to jump around on 1 foot in a circle. That could be really funny to watch. But I made it up. It's also, I don't know. Don't give me, I just hate it.
The enjoyment or the fun doesn't come from the mechanic. It comes from the person's.
I think it's like you're forced to have fun. It's
Exactly.
the problem.
It's
not like
the forcing.
You're
Yes,
having
forced fun.
to
Put a
enjoy it.
pot on your head and give the clue. Okay. Ha 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 ha. And yes, you could be like, Tom, you're taking it too seriously. But I like games where the funny stuff just happens because the game is interesting. Like if you've ever played Time's Up and someone can't give a clue and they're trying to say something and it goes bonkers, and it's funny because at the moment everything came together to make it funny, not because a card said put a pot on your head.
Like
And
there's
Quelf has a card like that, so I'm not making that up.
it's just funny just how strongly you feel about
It's lazy game design. If us three right now, we could design a party game. I could make a pile of cards and say, pull your pants down and turn around. Bend over and punch your guy next to you, but pretend to punch him. Speak in a really loud, obnoxious Chinese accent. And everybody be like, oh! I'm like, that took me no effort. Lazy, 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 lazy. Boo! And your game is trash.
But you backed it at least.
Well, that's because I need to talk about it, and I don't think they're going to send me one.
I think they're they're actors, but at the same time, I think they play enough games that they'd be okay with it. But that's the thing with game mechanics and how people see games nowadays, that the mechanics and the sort of performative aspect of it needs to go hand in hand. It's not like, oh, the rules are there, but we can ignore it.
No, I think because they designed this game with them in mind as players.
Yeah, well, that's the show. They want to simulate the show, and the show requires a
if you're designing it thinking that, oh, he would do great in this, and instead of like, oh, regular players would do great here. That's the thing.
I'm not sure. I haven't watched the Kickstarter. I just saw people play it, and it's funny because they're comedians.
Yeah, and I think they do a good job on their show. But also their shows are also highly edited.
Yeah.
Because not everything they do is that funny. comedians are not funny all the time, and if you don't think so, go watch one. And there's moments the comedian will say something and no one laughs.
Yeah.
Because that's just how life goes.
Yeah.
Because even Whose Line apparently is like they record for like 4 or 5 hours and to end up with a 30-minute episode.
Yeah. And that's fine. Don't get me wrong.
wrong,
I
yeah.
still want to give them props. Samurai's just done a good job at assembling a great group of comedians that I like watching Game Changers. It's interesting. But yeah, I think they board game. I haven't played it, but it sounds awful. 1 out of 10.
Not 0.
I'm trying to give you hot takes for your
I appreciate that. This is
for your podcast.
We're gonna make 10 shorts from this.
yeah. But the thing is, you're very present here, Tom, and that's the end of that topic, and really the end of the show.
Can I just say something?
Yeah,
This
sure,
is the
go ahead.
first time that Elvin has a honestly, this is the first time that Elvin has had problems talking,
It's really
and it
tough.
really shows the
It's really tough.
starstruckness.
Yeah. You know,
we
I just like
normally
to
have
talk.
the flow of this podcast is normally like bang 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 bang. It's not like
it's a Pavlovian response to Tom Vassell's voice. I
Oh.
slowly start drifting off to dreamland. Because for those that don't know, I listened to Tom's podcast for the longest time, and it's like, especially when you're about to go to sleep, and you're far away from your family, far away from your friends, and you just have your little friend Tom in your ear, like telling you about his
your
top
big
10
friend
games.
though.
Yeah, I'm glad I put people to sleep. People come up to me sometimes, they're like, I watch you every night. I'm like, that came off more creepy than you think.
And with that kind of way of saying it, right?
Exactly.
Every
Yeah,
night,
no.
Tom.
It's relaxing. Your voice is it is very relaxing. It's nice to hear.
I don't have a radio voice for sure. I have just a normal voice. I wish I had a more, in a world.
No,
but-
that's the thing. It's like sound like somebody who enjoys games and who's someone that
It
really
sounds more real.
yeah.
Thanks.
And
I am
that's-
real.
You sound like a real boy. Yeah, a real person. But yeah, it is the end of the episode. I just want to express just how appreciative we are of you having you as a guest, and you're just sharing with us, especially the hot takes, because those are really, really hot takes and the call outs. And
I mean, they're pretty honest.
I'm gonna get
takes,
an
though.
email from Dropout. They're like, excuse me.
exactly, and that's no.
And if
but-
you don't, they just didn't see this.
yeah, it's which is fine. But really, really appreciate it. We'll be interviewing more like later on, and we'll be seeing around the All Aboard.
It's
Where the heck
it
are
will-
we again?
All Aboard convention in Queso City.
All Aboard
Philippines.
Expo, Sakyusi.
I forgot where I am already. I forgot where I am, but
Outro. You can do this.
Yeah. Well, that's the show. Thanks for listening to the Random Pinoy Geek Podcast. This has been Elvin with Tom Vassell and JR.
Yeah.
Remember, it's okay to geek out
As long as you know when to stop.